times the things you learn in Boy Scouts, Murphy's Law, and life converges at the same point. Just a little while ago, for the second time this month, I had a pair of glasses. I opened it up, and the earpiece just floated over. And then I got two pieces of glasses. And they won't stay on my face that way. And quite frankly, I can't see without them. Boy Scouts taught me to be prepared. And so I went out to the car and got another pair that I had out there in the car. Have your Bible with you this morning. If you'll turn me to the book of Isaiah in chapter 5. Isaiah in chapter 5. When you get there, you'll join me in standing. Remind you that Isaiah mentioned in chapter 1 that come now let us reason together, saith the Lord. While he focused them on the idea of walking in the light last message with the thoughts of the reasons why. And today, this morning, we were looking at a parable that he gives in the book of Isaiah, and then some application that follows. Isaiah chapter 5, starting in verse 1. Now will I sing to my well-beloved a song of my beloved touching his vineyard. My well-beloved hath a vineyard in a very fruitful hill. He fenced it and gathered all the stones thereof and planted it with the choicest vine and built a tower in the midst of it, and also made a winepress therein, and he looked, and it should bring forth grapes, and it brought forth wild grapes. And now, O inhabitants of Jerusalem and men of Judah, judge, I pray you, betwixt me and my vineyard. What could I have done more to my vineyard that I have not done in it? Wherefore, when I looked that it should bring forth grapes, brought it forth wild grapes. And now go to, I tell you, what I will do to my vineyard. I will take away the hedge thereof, and it shall be eaten up, and break down the wall thereof, and it shall be trodden down. I will lay it waste, and it shall be pruned, or dig, but there shall come up briars and thorns. It will also command the clouds that they rain no more, rain upon it. The vineyard of the Lord of hosts is the house of Israel. The men of Judah his pleasant plant. Took for judgment, he looked for judgment, and he behold oppression, for righteousness, but behold, cry. Father, we thank today and from you, bless us, Lord. Have your way this morning. Guide us according to your purpose. Help us, Lord, we might understand what's being said, that, Father, we might take it to heart. Father, we might look to you for the remedy. Have your way even now. Touch me with your purpose. In Jesus' precious holy name we pray. Amen. I noted as I was looking at this that he starts off verse 1. Now will I sing to my well-beloved. Now Isaiah is writing the words down, but he's not the I nor the well-beloved that's here, okay? It is, in effect, it is God who says, I will sing. And in effect, and understand that there are three persons in the Trinity, but in effect, it is God who is the well-beloved. Okay? Just as Christ in quoting David from the Psalm says, the Lord said unto my Lord. And of course it was, there again, it was the Father talking to the Son. That's in that case. And I want you to note here that the song that's being sung to the well-beloved is the song of his vineyard. And in verse 7, he kind of gives you the key to understanding the song or the parable that's being given here. For the vineyard of the Lord, he says in verse 7, it's the house of Israel. The men of Judah is the plant. So you understand the vineyard itself is Israel. The whole of Israel. Understand at this point, by the way, Israel has been taken away into captivity, or shortly will be. And Judah, to whom Isaiah is mostly written, is that for the planet. He says of this, he said, I took and I got me the best field, a fruitful hill. I got me the best ground to plant my vineyard. The word there, that the fence around it, the word literally carries with the idea of grubbing, which is what they would do was they go into the ground, they would grub out all the roots and the trees and plants and the stones, and they would push them to the edges and build a hedge, a fence around the ground. The ground has been prepared. He has taken all the roots and all the other plants and all the stones out of the ground. He has prepared it to perfections. He has built this hedge around it, this fence around it, with what he's taken out of the ground. And in the midst of it, he's put up a tower. And in that tower, he can see all the vineyard, and he can watch. And anything that's coming towards the vineyard, he can prepare for because he can see it. He has set up all this defense for it, all this preparation for it. He has prepared it in such a way. And then he went and got the choicest vine, planted in his vineyard. This. You know what that does? When you have gone to the nth degree, you have built a fence, a preparation. Listen, wild beasts can't come in and destroy your vines. They can't get to it. Enemies can't approach it because you can see it from the tower. They can't climb over it. All this is prepared, and you have prepared the ground to. He asks the question, what more could I have done? If I took that much care of my own garden, I really was expecting some good stuff coming out of that thing. I was looking the other day, and I was weed eating, and I under my pine tree. I hadn't done that in years, and I was weed eating under my pine tree, and a bird has planted me a grapevine underneath my pine tree. And I'm thinking about trying to see if I can't take care of that thing. Maybe it's not a fox grape, you know what I'm saying? I haven't put any effort into this thing. But God, in regard to Israel and in regard to Judah, has done absolutely everything that can be done. Let me go ahead and throw this one out there. Just go ahead and make a broad application. In regard to your salvation, Christ has done everything that's possible for you to be saved. What else could he have done? I mean, dying on the cross for your sins, taking your place, and then doing what is impossible, rising from the dead. What else could he have done? And he asks a question in regard to Israel and Judah, what else could I have done? I've done everything I could to make sure this plant produced what it should produce. And when the time had come, when I had waited, and by the way, remind you that things don't happen overnight. In the law, we were reading where if you plant a plant, and, you know, when they come to the land, they plant a tree, and they weren't to eat until the third year from the tree. First year, it wasn't going to produce anything. The second year, it's going to be this great little bit of stuff, and then the third year, when you get your harvest. So he had waited till the plants had come up. He had waited for the process of the time that was necessary for the plant to produce. And when the time had passed, when everything was done, and it should have been bringing forth grapes. By the way, he puts into this thing also a wine press. That means that you don't harvest the grapes and carry them somewhere else where they can spoil before they get juiced. You've got the wine press right there, so when you pick the grapes, you can press them, and you've got the best juice. there's no wasted time there. What else could he have done? And so when he waited that time and he was prepared and waited, and when he went to look and see the grapes that he should have been bountiful flowing off these vines, it said he found wild grapes. You look the word up, it will tell you poison berries. Not much good. Not much to eat. I can only imagine they were probably maybe not so much poison, but sour. Spit in the mouth as soon as you throw them in. You ever done that? You ever looked at a fruit of any kind? You ever get an apple that's so beautifully red, and you just bite that thing, and it's just as soon as it gets in your mouth, it's nilly. And you just, I mean, you know, you've been there, haven't you? I mean, I'm not going. You get to the point where you don't really want to bite into an apple. You done that? What else could he have done? And that's the condition he speaks of Israel and Judah being in. He has done everything he could possibly do. He has brought them out of the land of Egypt with power, we're told in the Bible. He has brought them across. He has nursed them. He has given them manna and quail in the wilderness. He brings them to a land, and he puts them in houses they didn't build. He gives them crops that they didn't plant. He sets them up in a land that was flowing with milk and honey, the Bible says. It was overflowing with bounty. Time. When the forces would come against them, he destroyed them. People who came against them with cursings, he caused them to bless and caused the curse to fall upon them. People who would come against them with armies of extreme number, Gideon and his 300 men wiped out an entire army and never lifted a sword. It's the sword of the Lord. And Gideon that did it. Little boy reaches down to a brook and picks up 5 stones and puts one in a sling. And a giant falls to the ground, and the armies of Philistia flee in the face of Israel that day. God did that. Jonathan and his armor bearer go up on a hill and stand in a gap, and in that gap they destroy numerous Philistines that day. Alone. God did that. What else more could he have done? What else could he have done? Understand that, historically speaking, that Assyria has already come into Israel and taken Israel into captivity and dispersed it among the nations, and Judah is all that's left, and Assyria is looking at Judah, and Judah will stand in fear. In the next couple of chapters later, you'll see that where Judah stands in fear of Assyria coming and attacking them as well, and God says, don't worry about it, I've got to take care of Assyria. But later on, Babylon will come in and take Judah into captivity. What else could he have done? He says this, and then he shows that down in verse 5, I guess it is. Now go to, I will tell you what I will do to my vineyard. I will take down the hedge thereof, and it shall be eaten up, and break down the wall thereof, and it shall be trodden down. He tells in other places that what he says is that, you know, if I make the land desolate, it'll have its rest. If I make the land desolate, what else can you do? Then I note in verse 7, the very last of it, he said, and he looked, just like he was looking for the vineyard to produce grapes. He waited the time that should have been done. And he said, I looked for judgment. The idea is that there should be righteous judgments going on in the nation. Okay? I looked for judgment, but behold, oppression. for righteousness, for men to live right, for them to be doing what they should be doing. But behold, a cry. There are those who are suffering at the hands of others, and they're crying out. And then I note there are 6 cries that I find within the following verses, that I want to hit them quickly. Because this is where Israel is messing up. Let me show you verses 8 through 10, first of all. 6 woes. Woe to them that join house to house, that lay field to field, till that there be no place that they may be placed among the list of the earth, till mine eyes said, here, I can't even read this morning, even with these other glasses. Let me just start over and see if I can't do better. Woe to them that join house to house, that lay field to field, till there be no place that they may be placed alone in the midst of the earth. In mine ears saith the Lord of hosts, of a truth, many houses shall be desolate, even great and fair, without habitation. Yea, 10 acres of vineyard shall yield 1 bath, and the seed of a homer shall yield an ephah. He talks about the greed of some. They're accumulating wealth, they're accumulating property, they're accumulating what they can themselves. And it's just accumulated wealth. There's no value to it. There's no purpose in it. They're not doing anything with it. They're just accumulating. It's like the man in the New Testament who he has a bountiful harvest, and he has barns enough to help him, to do him good, and take him. So he tears those barns down and builds bigger ones to hold all he has. And he said, I will take my ease for many years. That's what's happening here in Israel. They look to themselves, and they're accumulating just to themselves the wealth more beyond more that they need. The focus on wealth in Israel. Verse 11 down through verse 17. Woe to them that rise up early in the morning. This is self-explanatory, by the way. That they may follow strong drink, that continue until night, till wine inflame them. And the harp, and the viol, and the tabret, and pipe, and wine are in their feast. But they regard not the work of the Lord, neither consider the operation of his hands. Just stop there for a moment before I read the rest of it. You understand what's going on? There's a party atmosphere. Life is about having fun. No one's seeking to do God's work, God's will. We're just here to have a party. It's all one big party. That's what life is in Israel at this time. And he says on in this, therefore my people are gone into captivity, because they have no knowledge. And their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst. Therefore hell hath enlarged herself, and opened her mouth without measure. Famous verse, there it is. And their glory and their multitude and their pomp, he that rejoices shall descend into it. He had mentioned that in the previous sections about those who were great and shall be brought down and brought low. And the mean man shall be brought down, and the mighty man shall be humbled, and the eyes of the lofty shall be humbled. The Lord of hosts shall be exalted in judgment, and God that is holy shall be sanctified in righteousness. Then shall the lambs feed after their manner, in the waste places of the fat ones shall strangers eat. You see the focus on wealth, and you see the party atmosphere, the idea that life is about having fun. Moses spoke to Moses in the book of Hebrews in chapter 11, where it says that he mentions the pleasure of sin for a season. Listen, there is pleasure in sin for a season. But after that, I'm reminded, and it fits this place, of a monologue I saw one time done by a comedian. and he was talking about he didn't understand people going out and having an all-night drunk, that you see him the next morning down, hold this porcelain bowl, hugging it. You're so cool and moist. You're my best friend. Blah. You understand what I'm getting at? There's only a pleasure for a moment. Then reality sets in. Verse 18, there's another woe. Woe to them that draw iniquity with cords of vanity. Note what they're doing. They're taking sin and they're drawing it together, binding it together as a group. And sin is as it were a cart rope. That say, let him make speed and hasten his work, that we may see it. And let the counsel of the Holy One of Israel draw nigh and come, that we may know it. You ever heard anybody do that kind of stuff, where they flaunt in the face of God? I'm going to do what I want to do. I will. It's my life, and they just flaunt in the face of God what they're doing. That's the condition in Israel. What more could he do? What more could he do? He goes on in verse 20, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. They take the holy and make it common, take it common and make it holy in one sense, and they put it that way. You ever see that happening today? You ever in any place hear people elevating evil and denigrating good? Turn to the news sometimes. That might help you see it. Verse 21. Woe to them that are wise in their own eyes and prudent in their own sight. I think about this, and Paul writes in 1 Corinthians of the wisdom of the world and the wisdom of God, that God's wisdom puts to shame the wisdom of man. Sometimes we get too big for our own pants. Our hat size doesn't work anymore because sometimes we think too highly of ourselves. He's speaking to that idea of taking truth and putting it aside to elevate what we think is true wisdom, and it's not. It's not. Promotion of false wisdom. Then there's one other thing that shows up here, the sixth woe. Woe to them that are mighty to drink. You said, Brother John, we covered that already. No, not this. Woe to them that are mighty to drink, and men of strength. Back up, let me read that again. Let me read it differently. Woe to them that are mighty to drink wine, and men of strength to mingle strong drink, which justify the wicked for reward, and take away the righteousness of the righteous from him. We find this in other places as well, where he talks about this very thing, where people who are in positions of power aren't doing what righteous judgment is. They get caught up. Some of them are drunk on wine, but some of them are drunk on power. Some of them are drunk on money. And in that sense, they do what's wrong. They elevate the wicked and push down the right. We're on promotion. This is what's going on in Israel. He gives us therefore in verse 24. This is where he tears down the vineyard, by the way. Let me show you a few things. 24 and 25, first of all, and then we'll read the rest of this down to 30. Therefore, as the fire devoureth the stubble, and the flame consumeth the chaff, so that their root shall be as rottenness, and their blossom shall grow up as dust, because they have cast away the law of the Lord of hosts, and despised the word of the Holy One of Israel. Therefore is the anger of the Lord kindled against his people, and he hath stretched forth his hand against them, and hath smitten them, and the hills did tremble, and their carcasses were torn in the midst of the streets, for all this, his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. You see first, because of all that he has done and the refusal to follow him and rise up in their own ways, you find first the kindled anger of God, and then you see a called army coming in verse 26. And I'm going to cover this quickly. And he shall lift up ensigns in the nations from far, and will hiss unto them from the end of the earth, and behold, they shall come with speed swiftly. None shall be weary nor stumble among them. None shall slumber nor sleep. Neither shall the girdle of their loins be loosed, nor their latchet of their shoes be broken. Whose arrows are sharp, and all their bows bent. Their horses' hooves shall be counted like flint, and their wheels like a whirlwind. Their roaring shall be like a lion. They shall roar like young lions, yea, they shall roar and lay hold of prey, and shall carry it away safe, and none shall deliver it. And in that day they shall roar against them like a roaring of the sea, as if one looking to the land. Behold, the darkness and sorrow, the light darkness, the heavens thereof. You have this idea that this vineyard that God has planted, He's put so much care into. Israel, Judah, have refused to follow Him. Have refused to hear His voice. And have gone to their own thing. They have gone like the other nations of the world. And joined to them. God said, I will bring judgment as a result. The question comes back, what more could be done? What more could be done? I think about it, and you understand that the fruit that he talks of is that judgment and that righteousness that was supposed to be good. Judgment was supposed to be good righteousness. And it's poison, it's bitter, it's evil fruit. Woes. Let me ask you a question. Where's your fruit? I mean, I can look around us and I realize that this world is changing fast around us. And what has used to be in Europe is now in the United States, and it is changing fast. I realize that. But you know what? You can't change them. The only one you can do anything about is you. How's your fruit? How's your fruit? Let's get a song. Everyone stand.